What's good, y'all? It's Steven Seymour from Bahtona, and today I'll be walking you through Math Paper 1 BGCSE problem. So this problem is really just covering the topics of area and geometry. So let's just jump right into it. So the question reads, the diagram shows the floor of a room of length 16 feet. A carpet of width 9 feet is placed so there is a border of 1.5 feet wide all around it. So it asks us to calculate the width of the room, the area of the room, and the area of the border, right? So let's look at what's given to us and what they're asking of us, right? So part A says to calculate the width of the room. So the width of the room is going to be this whole quantity here, right? So this here is what we don't know, right? But what it gives us is it gives us the length of the room, it gives us the width of the carpet, and it also gives us the width of this whole border, right? So if we want to find the value, well, if we want to find the width of the actual room, we need to look a little bit closer at the instructions that they gave us, right? So it says that there's a border of 1.5 feet wide all around the carpet, right? So if there's a border of 1.5 feet all around the carpet, that means that this value here is 1.5. Between these two lines would also be 1.5, right? Let me just draw some arrows there. And then also between these two lines would be 1.5. So that's 1.5. And then the same thing for this side, but I don't really want to make that too messy, right? So now if we look at it like this, we start to see that maybe we actually do have all that we need to find the width of the room. So if we want to find the width of the room, recognize the fact that this whole line here, if we were to like section it off into parts, we have this part, that part, and that part, right? And we just said that this is equal to 1.5. This is equal to 9, and that's equal to 1.5. And that's all in feet, right? So 1.5 feet, 9 feet, 1.5 feet, right? So we want to find the width, we just add these values. So this would just be 1.5 plus 1 and, plus 1.5 plus 9. Please excuse my bad handwriting, right? So once we add up all that together, you get 12. So the width is really just 12 feet, right? So that's 2 feet. So now it wants us to find the area of the room. So to find the area, we need to just look at the formula for the area of a rectangle, right? So for all the paper 1 exams, they give you a formula sheet. And on the formula sheet, they have area of a rectangle. So it says here, area of a rectangle is equal to base times height. So we have our base, which is just 16, and we have our height, which is 12. So we just do area is just equal to 12 times 16. And the answer to that is going to be 192, right? So remember, this is going to be in feet squared, because anytime that you find an area, the measurement, the unit that you use is always going to be squared. For the width, it was just going to be straight feet. Like, we don't have to square it because it's just a length. It has nothing to do with area. So now, when we look down, we see that the final part of the question says, what's the area of the border, right? So this takes a little bit of thinking, right? If we want to find the area of the border, that means that we'll look at this entire blue section here. So we need to find what's the area of this, right? So in order for us to find the area of the border, we need to do some addition and subtraction, right? So let me just erase that real quick so it doesn't confuse you guys. So let's look at it, right? We have the width of this. We have the length of the room. We have the width of the room. which is what, 12 feet. And we only have the width of the carpet, which is 9 feet. So in order for us to find this, in order for us to find the area of the border, we need to be able to subtract the entire, we need to be able to subtract the area of the carpet from the area of the entire room, right? So that's the only way that we'll be able to do that for this question. So let's just kind of get down to it, right? For us to find the area of the carpet, which is the first thing we have to do, so let's just write these steps down, right? So steps for part C. So we need to, 1, find area of carpet, and then we need to, oh shoot, I spelled out dead wrong. So we need to find the area of the carpet, and then for part 2, we need to subtract part 1, which is the area of the carpet, from the area of the room, right? So in order for us to deal with this, we need to first figure out what is the actual length of this carpet, right? So we know the width is 9, but what's the length? So we see that the length of the room is 16 feet, right? But again, when we use a technique that I showed you in the beginning, we know that these borders give us a value of 1 1/2, right? So that border to down there, that's 1 1/2, right? So if we wanted to find the length of the actual carpet, what we need to do is we need to subtract 1 1/2 from 16 2 times, right? So let's look at it, right? So we need to do, so let's just say area of carpet, right? So carpet area, that's just gonna be our length, or we'll just call it base times height, right? But our base, so like the value of our base that we're trying to find is gonna just be equal to 16 minus 1 1/2 minus 1 1/2. Reason being, because you're just trying to take the 16, subtract the 1/2 on the left, subtract the 1/2 on the right, and that gives us this middle value. That gives us the middle of the actual length of the carpet. So if you were to punch that into your calculator, or just do some mental math, because you know 1/2 minus 1/2 is just 3. I mean just minus 3. So then 16 minus 3 is just gonna give us 13. So that's 13 feet right there. Let me make sure y'all could actually see that. So that's 13, right? So now that we know the actual base, what we need to do now is just multiply that by the height, which is 9, right? So what we do is we just say, so this area here, I'll just put it on the inside so that it's not that confusing. So this area is just going to be equal to 9 times 13, and that's equal to 117, right? So once you have that, what you need to do now is you need to say, okay, so now that I have the area of the carpet, I have the area of the room, which is 192 feet squared, I need to subtract these. So if you do 192 minus 117, let's see, what do we get? We get 75. So here we get 75 feet squared, right? And that is our final answer. So this, remember, this 75 just represents the area of the border around here, because all we did was we said, hey, if the area of the room is 192 feet squared, and if we need to find the border, let's just find the area of the carpet and subtract that from the area of the room, right? So that's how you do it. And I just realized here that I forgot to put in 12. So yeah, that's how you solve this problem. Like and subscribe if this video was helpful. Feel free to comment with any video requests or further explanations. For updates though, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All of our links are in the description. Thanks for watching.